Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name is Alex, and this is where we document the growth of a $100,000 account I made for my newborn son. Using technical analysis, fundamental analysis, and news, we try to grow the account over time. If that's something you're into, stick around. All right, what a wild midweek update. Some huge moves today off the back of some fresh news that the Senate had passed the big, beautiful bill. And seeing a lot of sectors pick up here. And also there's some things that are selling off, like there's some healthcare stuff that's selling off. But the majority of the market, like a lot of the kind of smaller cap stocks, are really showing some explosive moves off the back of this bill. So we're going to keep monitoring that. I know we have a short week this week with 4th of July, let's go see what the market monitor has to say and see what that means going into next week. All right, so for those of you who are new to the channel, the market monitor is a collection of data I've taken over time. It basically just tracks the position of stocks, whether they're in uptrends, downtrends, or they're going sideways. There's also some other internals like, say, the VIX and whether stocks are ending at the highs or at the lows of the day. But with that information, it allows me to peer into the market and see, what could be happening, where we're at, and where we could be going. And if you guys want more information about the market monitor, I pinned a video in the description, so you guys go check that out. All right, so it looks like market monitor is green, and we are day 8 green. And so far, we've moved about 4.28% in this cycle. Now, the average green cycle lasts about 12.6 days, and it moves 3.78%. So we're a little bit above average, and we got there, earlier or ahead of schedule. So the market has about 2 distribution days, so not too much distribution in the market, but the glass is already over the average, so it's a little stretched here, and I think we could be, any moment here due for a nice little sideways action, nice little pullback. So we did some changes in the portfolio today that I'll let you guys know about. We actually made a decent amount of changes, and excited to show you guys that. So with that, let's get into some more internals about what's going on in the market monitor. So the stage analysis is as follows. We have about 62% of stocks that are in stage 2 uptrends. 17% of stocks are in stage 1 sideways, and 6% of stocks are in stage 3 sideways, and about 14% of stocks are in downtrends, stage 4. So, and that's the lowest amount of stocks that have been in downtrends, for a long time. So that's something to note. We're getting a little bit stretched here with the breadth, and just monitoring that closely. So something else moving onwards I wanted to show you is the VIX. So even with the market move today, the VIX is basically flat, and I think 2 days ago we had a VIX day. So it looks like there's a lot of guys who are at least buying protection. I mean, I'm one of them, but it's been staying here at 16, even though the market's kind of been marching higher. So something to note there. As you can see here, the 20 bull, we got 65 stocks that have moved 20% in 5 days. So that's getting a little bit stretched as well. We have 58 stocks that have moved, made a higher high today on bigger volume. So that's something to watch out for. We have 344 stocks that kind of ended at the high of the day. And we just monitor that to see if it's in line with the what's going on in the market. So moving onwards, we see here we have 45 BB. So that's the number of stocks that are above their 45-day Bollinger Band. That's 245. So that's really picking up here. That's the highest reading we've had in many months. So, a lot of stocks are stretched outside of their 2 standard deviations, 45-day Bollinger Band. So that's something to note. 37 stocks have made a 5% move on $100 million volume or more, and that's the 3rd day in a row of like 30 plus. So that's something to note. And this short-term momentum indicator, I was noticing it was going down. Thought it was a little bit of a sell signal, but they came back, and we're rising again. So that's something to note there. A pickup in acceleration to the upside. Yeah, moving onwards, the TD cell finally is picking up. So we have 522 stocks in TD cell. Now this thing it's a little tricky with the overbought because when things are rallying, it's harder for this to pick up overbought readings because it can stay overbought for a long time. But it's finally starting to heat up here. We weren't really overbought at all for the last few days, and now it's starting to pick up. One thing to note, or finally, is the anxiety index is finally ticking down. We're at 23K, down from about 24.8 or 25K. And the mid reading here is at 79%. So essentially, that takes stage 2 plus stage 1. And we're approaching 80%, which is my overbought, caution signal. So, hence the title of the video. It's we're cautious. We got some puts. But yeah, we'll get into the portfolio here in just a moment, and yeah, see how we're performing and see what kind of changes we made, because we made a lot of changes. All right, well, if you're still watching the video, thank you guys so much. Really appreciate all the support that I'm getting in the channel so far. So if you guys can go ahead and hit that like button, that would really help out the channel before we start with the portfolio update. But yeah, and also if you guys are interested, I link the account with a website that tracks every trade. And you guys can see it in real time, what I'm buying, what I'm selling, and especially on a day like today where I made a pretty decent amount of moves. Perhaps you guys would be interested in, seeing what I'm doing. So that's there for you. So yeah, let's move on to the portfolio update. So as you can see here, the account sits at 110.3, 311, and yeah, the account's up 1.4% today. Really outperforming the market. We really like that, as you guys can see down here below. That is how much we're outperforming the market. So yeah, it seems like we're up 6.3% against the S&P and about 5% against the Qs. And this website is a little bit wrong because it doesn't include the options positions that we have. So yeah, it's about 1% or so more than that. So we're really enthusiastic about our performance so far, because at the end of the day, this is a very diversified 60-40 kind of bond-ish portfolio. And the fact that we're outperforming the market and we have a nice yield on the account, hey, we're liking it. So yeah, let's move on and let's see what kind of stocks are making those moves for us in the account. All right, so as you guys can see here, a lot of the gainers in the account today are Bitcoin related. Yeah, we made some interesting moves here. We got into this pretty speculative stock, this BMNR. I guess they're making an Ethereum trust, almost like MSTR, but it's in Ethereum. And we bought a small position because it's a very high ADR stock. But yeah, we bought it yesterday at the lows, and it's up 32% today. So we're into that. We're happy about that. Yeah, I mean, moving onwards, BTDR is up today, 16%. Nice moves there. We have the $15 call sold in that. And then this other one, this BTBT, we bought a nice position in this thing because it's another Ethereum fund. But the CEO actually bought at $2. So we saw that trigger on a website that we track, and thought it was interesting to get in at the same time the CEO was getting in. So we did that. We bought around, I think, $2.12, and we sold the $3 calls for 10 cents. So we basically got in at $2 there. And I think it's sitting at like 260. So we're up 30% on that one. So we're excited there. Moderna is finally moving in the right direction. We were holding this one. It was a dog in the account for a long time, but it's finally breaking out. I'll show you guys the TA on that later. But we like the action there. And then Array Technologies. Yeah, I made that video of like how I'm buying this company, and then it instantly like tanked 25%, but it's all the way back to where we bought it. Actually, we're up on it now because we had bought more. So excited that that's turned around. So yeah, let's move on to the loss side and see what's taking us down, and see what we can do there. All right, so as you can see here, the nuclear stocks continue to get hit. So actually what we did here is we sold some of this, and you guys see this maybe tomorrow if you check the account, like we sold some of NuScale because we hadn't trimmed any of it. prior. We trimmed some LEU, but we didn't trim that. Okay, so moving onwards, the Chinese ETF is down today, which is interesting because, Baidu, I'm long Baidu and some other Chinese stuff. I think it was mostly Baba and some other stuff that was down today. But yeah, anyways, Chinese are down. The utility income fund is down. This credit fund is also down. So interesting there. That kind of precedes, downward momentum in the market. So just watching, because these, I really enjoy like having like these on my radar because they really tell you whether the market's healthy or not. And then lastly, Stone Co. I mean, I just have a big position on this one, so it's going to show up if it moves even a little bit. So yeah, interesting stuff there. Yeah, I mean, we're excited to receive some new dividends because, it's the first of the month. So we're going to have that income coming in, and we're excited about the progress. But with that, let's get into the TA portion of the video, and let's just, show you guys what I got into and what's moving, and yeah, what more of what I sold, and kind of what I'm watching going forward. All right, so what you guys are looking at here is Bitmine Immersion Technologies Inc., or BMNR, and wow, this thing is a monster of a stock. I think like Tom Lee is running this thing, and he took up a big loan to get to buy some Ethereum, and so we weren't able to get in on the first day. We were able to get in BTBT on the first day. Like I could show you guys that here. Where's BTBT? Yeah, we got into BTBT, I think here or the next day when the CEO purchased some after their offering, and then we sold those $3 calls up there. But BMNR, yeah, we were a little bit late to the party, but we bought yesterday at the low of the day. And this thing is moving up nicely. If I can show you guys, some TA here, essentially, my thought was like once it undercut the low of this, a lot of traders would get stopped out and then it would reverse. So we were trying to buy that spring there when it, undercut that low and it reversed, and that's where we got it. But then we were kind of watching it intraday here, and this was kind of like the area similar to what I do on some of the daily and the weekly charts. You could do the same thing on the smaller time frames. There's the big wall here that I wasn't able to kind of overtake. So maybe it's going to go back down again tomorrow, unless it gaps up and it just starts going. I mean, we're just kind of bullish on this thing because it's really new, and you're getting in on the second day, even though it's up a lot. But the market cap's so low, it's worth a 0.2% risk on the account to see what happens, because some of these things have gone thousands of percent. Some of the big movers in the market right now, and so you gotta have that exposure just a little bit, So the main thing I'm kind of looking at. Oh, by the way, yeah, BTDR is coming back. We have these 15 sold, but this thing looks decent. It's bouncing right here off the quarterly moving average. Made a nice move. It kind of was getting digested here and kind of failed, but now it's coming back up, and we like that. Let's see here. Yeah, DQ's not in this account. It's in a different one, but BTBT, yeah, this thing is looking great. I mean, if you look at the weekly on this thing, it looks fantastic. We were getting in at the bottom of the range. So, bare minimum, I think this thing could at least get to $5 because it's back, in big volume coming in here on the right side of the chart. We have the 3 sold into August. So, depending on what happens here, maybe it goes sideways. But in this position, typically it's just supposed to go straight up. So we'll have to monitor that. We might have to, once it pierces the strike, we might have to just roll it. So yeah, there's that. So one thing I was getting into today that I'm actually pretty enthusiastic about was the lithium trade. So I saw that Albemarle was going up after, I think Tesla had decent results. Yeah, Tesla, where's Tesla? Tesla had decent results, like its deliveries. It wasn't as bad as people thought. And so I think that's going to be a decent play. I mean, all the solar stuff is starting to go. SEDG we had bought here, and this thing's up like 70% after we bought it. And so is Array. Array's kind of flat, but the solar theme is kind of coming back here, the energy theme. So, with that, so does the lithium theme come. So we were looking at Albemarle, but in this account, we want to be able to sell calls on this thing, and the price is too high. So what I did, I bought it and I was like, okay, you know what? I want to buy something else because I can't sell calls on this thing. So we went searching in the lithium theme, and we found PLL for this account, and because it's sitting right around $600, we bought it. We bought like the high of the day. But anyways, we bought this one at $600. You know, or we can get 100 shares, and we sold the eight. I'll just do that right now. We sold the $8 calls here. Let's see here. We sold the $8 calls. You know, for a decent, you know, chunk of change, and we're gonna play this lithium theme, you know, and just get involved there. So there's that. Yeah, we also took in some cash and we bought some QQQ puts, you know, out to July. Just our, like, I think past this expiration date. Just in case. I mean, we're pretty extended here, so it's the puts are cheap, and you know, if things fall apart, at least you're going to have a little bit of protection, even though we're selling calls. But it's just a good idea at this point in time when the cycle says that we're pretty full, and yeah, just buy some puts again. We're up. We got the gains to do that. So yeah, moving onwards. This is Moderna, and Moderna this whole time has been under the quarterly moving average for this entire downtrend, and it failed here, it failed here, it failed here, failed here, failed here, failed here. And then it made this higher low on lower volume. So I think Moderna is finally going to start going here. If it can break, well, I mean, it basically already did. So we have the 35 calls sold on this thing. So, you know, we got plenty of room to the upside, but I actually think it can make a nice run here to maybe $40. And that'd be interesting. That'd be nice. Besides that, I mean, there's you know, the auto parts trade is heating up, this MGA Magna. I think with the EV news, you know, the demand is pretty decent for the Tesla cars. So I think our auto parts thing that we've been in for a while is going to finally start heating up here, because I really like the monthly on this chart. You know, where it was basically down here at the lows of the monthly chart, and yeah, this thing just looks ready to make another move like it did in COVID. Whenever the energy theme starts to kick up. We also have this BWA. I actually like the chart on BWA a lot better. This long-term kind of chart here, and this is breaking out of this beautiful little flag here. So we've been long this thing for a while, and nice to see that it's finally going. I mean, unfortunately, we didn't grab like stocks like Ava or whatever, the LiDAR stock, but you know, this is good enough, and we're happy with it. So yeah, and then lastly, you know, yeah, the uranium stocks, they're just kind of going sideways here. We sold a little bit of, where is that, SMR? Yeah, we sold a little bit because, you know, it made an attempt here, and then now it's kind of breaking this low right here again. So I think this thing is kind of going to go sideways, kind of dead money for a little while. And, you know, if it breaks here, it's not such good news, because this is kind of where it should find support. So we just preemptively sold a little bit, yeah, and we moved into some other areas. So with that, hey guys, thank you so much for joining. If you like the content, please feel free to comment and smash that like button, and yeah, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Cheers.